All right. Hello. Good evening. Welcome to another live episode of the O&G StrikeZone. Bryan Fulford, Kelvin Rozier here, and soon to be joined by Marcus Green. Kelvin, how you doing, man? What's good?
Hey, I'm doing a lot better than I was last Wednesday, man. Feeling good. Glad to be back.
Okay. Your voice sounds better.
I think it's you got me.
A bit. I got you. You gotta get your Wi-Fi to act right tonight, but I got you. Oh man, but yeah, your voice is sounding good, man. Hold on. Let me you say hello to the people. Let me finish sending out the tweet that just says we're live and all that stuff on our page and all those other places here as we get the show going. I'll let you say hello to the family that's joining the show.
All right. I'm glad for everybody who's joining. Glad to be back in his house. Got a lot going on for the show tonight. We had a lot of rally action going on the past 6 days. You know, all the spring sports. You had the Legacy Bowl, which I think we're gonna start off with. So there's quite a bit to get to, and anybody who's ever had a tooth infection, a gum infection, and a toothache, you know why I wasn't on last week, and those who had never had one, you never want to know, because it's nothing nice, buddy.
Yeah, no, I'm thankful. I don't never had it. Hopefully I never do. Let me bring in our third member of the team tonight, Marcus Green. Marcus, what's good with you, brother?
Doing good. How are y'all doing? Got the crew all together.
Yeah, man. Everybody's here, feeling better. You know,
what's up, Eddie Kane Jr.? Keeping COVID spirit alive. I love it, fellas.
keep the spirit alive. Exactly. Keep the spirit alive. It's all good, man. It's all good. Yeah. So.
Did Bryan just freeze?
You know, Twitter give you all kinds. Huh?
Hey, you talking about my Wi-Fi?
You trying to put it on me? No, that's on you. That's gonna be you. Don't
you
put
got
that
your
on
Wi-Fi?
me.
Hey, you got your Wi-Fi off?
Man, hold on. Let me make sure the Wi-Fi. Look, I can't even lie to you and tell you it's off right now. I got a hard line connected in. That's all I'm gonna say right now. I'm just dealing with some other monitor-related issues. But anyway, we're gonna try to work through these technical difficulties. What in the Sam hell? It's time for a new laptop. Time for a new desktop. All right. Anyway, how's the weather, Marcus? How's the weather in your neck of the woods? What's the weather like these days?
Oh, today was a good day. It got up to 60 something.
60 something.
Yeah, I know, which is surprising.
Damn.
Yeah.
Somebody's living right up there.
Was it sunny?
It was nice.
Okay.
And I actually had a field exam today, so it was the perfect week for. I thought it was going to be snowy and rainy. I was like, oh boy. But today was a good day.
Yeah, we sent some of your some of our Florida love up that way. It was a 70, mid-70s here, sunny, beautiful day.
I know things are starting to turn around right around this time of year. Things start popping up.
Yeah, definitely gotta tell folks to take care of yourselves. You gotta tell folks to take care of yourselves. I mean, that whole flu bug thing was a real thing floating around, right? Still is. All right. I think I'm all squared away. Kelvin squared away. Marcus is squared away. You guys online, thanks for what did EA? I just saw that. Hey, thanks for joining the show. Thank you for following us. We say hello to everybody that's watching us on Instagram Live, watching us on X, whether it be on the Black College Sports Network or our own pages. Make sure to retweet. If you're watching us on X, go ahead and hit the retweet button and share the show. That way you let your family know. Maybe you're watching us on Facebook, our O&G StrikeZone page or the Black College Sports Network page. We say hello to you. And, of course, hello to everybody watching on YouTube. Especially the folks on the JBN online page. We are a part of the Black College Sports Network, Jericho Broadcast Networks, and so that's where many of you are watching. You can always donate to the show. If you're on that JBN online page, you can do so by maybe doing a super chat, or you can always drop a Cash App right there. You see it right there at the bottom of the screen. You can also do a square donation, but Cash App or Super Chat is preferred. Hey, you could also be like our guy Jimmy Mack, and you could join us by being a member of our YouTube page and become a JBN subscriber. So, we say hello and thank you to Jimmy Mack for doing that and always contributing. Appreciate you, Jimmy. Good to see Bull checking in as well.
What up, Jimmy Bull?
Checking in. A lot of people well wishes for Kelvin. I'm sure he appreciate all the thoughts and the well wishes. Marcus and I we did our best to hold it down, and without you, Kelvin, man, we got in 2 hours, man.
I saw. I saw.
I don't.
And you know the reason for that is because you was able to run your mouth.
Yeah, I don't know. Put that on Kelvin.
Oh, thanks, Marcus. Thanks, appreciate it. Let me finish with the roll call, man. Jim, Melissa Wilson checking in. Thank you for joining the show as always, Meredith.
Hey, Meredith.
Thank you for being a JBN subscriber. Appreciate you, Ken, Alice checking in.
Hey, Ken, Alice.
Ashton, good to see you,
What's
Ashton.
up,
Thanks
Ash?
for always checking in with us.
What's up, nephew?
B Starks checking in. Thanks, Bryan. Appreciate you.
What's up, B Starks? Zeke.
Ezekiel Love. Man, I hope we get some information for you, Zeke. No information yet. I know what you're starving to know. So are we. Anyway, hopefully we'll know. Mary 305.
Hey, Auntie.
From the South FLA. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber. And Marcus in Middle Georgia.
What's up,
hey,
Marcus?
Thank you for being a JBN subscriber as well. Demetra.
My ace boom boom. What's up, Demetra?
Checking in. Good to see you, Demetra. Got another home stand.
She like Miss Seeley. I mean Sophia. She'll fight you. She'll fight you.
No fighting on those front row seats there. Keep those. Don't get us in trouble sitting in them front row seats. Little baby, good to see you. Thanks for checking in.
What's up, little baby?
Gail.
What's up, Gail? D-Land.
BN subscriber. Gail, appreciate you. Good to see EA as always. Being messy, but we appreciate you always. Tom.
What's up, Tom?
Tom. Hey, good to see you, Tom. Hey, thanks for checking in. That's a new name.
Tom.
Appreciate you, Tom. Thank you. Alice McCullough.
What's up, Alice? Palm Beach.
Yes, indeed. Good to see you. Leonard Chat. Good to see you. Leonard? Thanks for checking in. Appreciate you.
I ain't saying this in my Nashville, Tennessee.
We can start the show. Chuck Hunt's in the house. Checking in from somewhere in Louisiana, Monroe, Louisiana. Always. I love it. Always representing where he's from. Appreciate you.
That's right.
With more coming in. Good to see you. Edwin, appreciate you.
Edwin must have got the religion since the new year started, because
Why you say that?
Yeah, he's been pretty.
Yeah, he's been righteous.
Well,
in these chat streets.
Don't look. Just wait. I think there's some nervousness right now. His team is they swear they might be a basketball school. They ain't having a lot of success in some other sports, so they swear they're a basketball school now. So I think that might be what's going on, and just kind of staying humble. So it might be a little humbleness that's going on there. I don't know. Just a thought. JT, good to have you, JT. You stop messing with my Wi-Fi issues there, Edwin. Tamara T, I'm behind on the chat, so I know you laughing away there, Kelvin. I'm so far behind right now doing the roll call. Good to see you, Tamara. Thanks for being a JBN subscriber. Appreciate you. Good to see Johnny Thornton. Johnny, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Yep. Appreciate you representing. Thank you for the contribution there in the super chats. Always appreciate you, and for being a JBN subscriber. Appreciate you. We're gonna talk. We got some good stuff to talk about with the HBCU Legacy Bowl coming up. We got a lot of things happening. This was a busy day, busy weekend for FAMU athletics. As many as 8. You can, if you want to say men and women, you could say 9. 9 different programs were on the field, on the court, on the track on Saturday. That's one of the. I don't think it'll ever get busier than that. Unless somehow golf ended up playing at the same time, and golf was actually the next day. So we almost hit our max capacity for one single day with FAMU athletics.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll kind of go through that here a little bit shortly. Kerry Daniels, thanks for checking in from Duval. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Edwin, come on. Edwin said we coming. All right, that's all right. Bring it. Bring that. We know how to tame cats. That's all I'm gonna say. We know how to tame cats. So don't sleep. Don't sleep. Yes, indeed. Jimmy Mack definitely mentioned. We got at least one thing we can talk about is we got a championship to talk about. So we will make mention of that as golf won a championship over the weekend as well.
The tournament championship.
The tournament
but yes, we won it. And we ain't just win it. We won it.
We rolled away with that thing.
It was pretty bad. It was like they were playing me. So they definitely took care of business on the golf course. Give me a second here as I kind of pull up, trying to get these slides pulled up. But I know we can go in a number of different ways. We talked about kind of starting with the Legacy Bowl. Let's start with the HBCU Legacy Bowl. I know that's one of the 9. So let me just set it up. This is what you had on Saturday. On Saturday, what day was that? The 22nd? 22nd. This is the timeline of what we had on that day, right? We had starting at 9:30 Eastern. You had day 1 of the SWAC Indoor Track and Field Championships at 9:30. Okay. Then at 10 a.m., you had game number 1 of the softball doubleheader against Southeastern Louisiana. All right. Very close ball game. We ended up losing 3-2 in the top of the 9th inning. All right. Just looking at the stats on the season, our ace is Oriana Hughes. She's 2-2 on the year. Those 2 losses have come literally in the 9th inning, right? Like on walk-offs, right?
pretty much walk-offs. I mean, we were batting ninth in the bottom of the ninth in that game against Southeastern, but yeah. So those are the two losses on her record. Still 2-2 record so far. We'll talk more about softball overall on the weekend shortly. But they did play a doubleheader, and so by the time that game ended at 12:14, they ended up playing the doubleheader at 12:46 p.m. against Southeastern as well, and these were being played over at Joanne Graff Stadium, I believe, right there in over there on Florida State's campus. Now the second game did not go well. It was a 5-inning, just a beating. I don't know what happened in game 2 and how it went so drastically different from a 3-2 game to a 15-0, but okay, it happened. So that ended by the time that game ended, it was 2:37, but a 1:00 Eastern start. Our tennis program, the women's tennis team, they were in Alabama taking on Jacksonville State. That first serve was around 1:00. And overall, we went 6-1 with the only win coming from our number one singles player, Sarah Rakim, who won two games to 1 in that series with Jacksonville State. 2:00 Eastern time, you had the start of the women's basketball game in Montgomery, Alabama State. The ladies would end a 4-game losing streak and get a win, 48-40 over Alabama State. Follow that game up with the men's game that was scheduled to start at 4, but it actually didn't start till 4:30. But in between that time, you had a 4:00 start for the HBCU Legacy Bowl, which started at 4. Then you had the men's basketball start at 4:30. Then the baseball game, which was scheduled for 7, didn't start till 8:00. So by the time the baseball game ended at 10:46 p.m., you had over 11 hours, or right at about 11 hours. If you go from 9:30 till about 10:30, you had about, no, what? I'm sorry, that's not 11. That's what, 13? 13 hours? If I'm doing the math, somebody help me out here. I think that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I mean, I'm just talking here.
99 will be 12. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So you had about 13 hours worth of Rattler athletics in action. So what an amazing Saturday. And I know we tried to keep everybody up to date as much as possible. I know the other entities did. I know Gerald was covering the Legacy Bowl. I think I seen updates from Fang Exchange. I saw updates from Keith, but it was a really challenging day for athletics overall, just in being able to cover all of that. Any thoughts or comments you guys want to add in there on that?
No, I mean, this is what that's what spring looks like. We have a lot of spring sports. They overlap, and you have weekends like this, and it is very, very stressing and challenging for the support staff to try to embed themselves and cover all of that, and of course we don't even have leadership in place in some areas like sports information. That's still getting processed through. So yeah, so thankfully other universities coverage, and of course the TDO and some of the fans supported groups and HBCU game day, we're able to get some of that information out, and we were able to put it on our social media pages.
Yeah. So
but we were able to watch track. Though.
Excuse me. Yeah, the track meet was on SWAC Digital. The Legacy Bowl was on the NFL Network?
I believe so.
Yeah, the NFL Network. Obviously you had to be on a paywall to watch the Alabama State stuff. the MLB Network, the game. Yeah, I didn't even mention the score. We'll just leave that out. The score of that game, that Saturday night baseball game, that was on MLB Network.
We didn't play Saturday.
No, didn't look like we played Saturday. No, you're right about that. I don't know who that was. You know, again, I've seen Southern, and Southern's not a bad baseball squad, but I don't know who that was. I don't know who that was. But anyway, that's what it looked like in terms of being able to watch it. So I guess we could say that. All right, let's quickly get over to the Legacy Bowl here, and let's take a second and make mention of our guys who performed at the Legacy Bowl. Obviously, you had Kendall Bowler, Daniel Richardson,
Jamari Gassett,
Jeremiah Pruitt,
and
Jalen
Goss. Yeah, thank you. All right, so I didn't get a chance to watch it because I was calling the Morehouse Clark Atlanta game, so I didn't get a chance to watch it. Kelvin, you said you got to watch. What were some of your thoughts and impressions from what you saw from a visual perspective and just the performance on the field?
First of all, I want to say it was an entertaining game. It was by far the best one. I've seen them all since the inception, and it was a great game. The quality of talent especially along the offensive line, was decent enough where you actually got to see some offense this time. And my overall thoughts were there are at least a couple of guys I think that are definitely draft worthy. And out of this game, I am predicting that a lot of guys may not make the NFL, but it's a lot of guys that should land on these other leagues, CFL, USFL, arena, all that kind of stuff, because there was some real talent on display. Daniel Richardson, of course, who ended up being one of the offensive player of the game. I mean, he was sharp. He was 9-12 for like 110 yards and a touchdown. And as soon as he came in, man, he moved the ball, man. I just wish he was 2-3 inches taller, or either a little bit more athletic, because his football IQ and his accuracy, which is always what we talked about even when he transferred to FAMU, we go back and look, and he's all and for us, he was right around 70%, right? Anything over 65 at the college level is pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
So he was accurate. He went, he looked like he belonged. He was the best quarterback on the field, and the other quarterbacks did pretty decent too. I thought that out of the Rattlers, I thought Pruitt. Now Pruitt is interesting to me. He won't get drafted because he just didn't have the production, but I think he put himself on the radar of some teams, and we just like with Terrell and some other guys. That's all you have to do. Have one team that like you. He got the measurables, right? He's got the size, height, wingspan, hands, athleticism that they're looking for. So I think he'll get a chance. The receiver out of Central, he's more of a straight line, deep threat type right now. He's probably got to get a little more refined in his route running, but his measurables and athleticism are off the chart. He's going to get opportunity. Of course, Kendall made a couple of plays. He also got beat on the inside post in the end zone, but overall, I think he did very well. And some of the other quarterbacks surprised me, frankly. I wasn't expecting a whole lot outside of Richardson. I figured Richardson would do pretty good, but there was a couple of other quarterbacks who were solid, right? That proved that they just weren't athletes, that they could move the ball. So I thought it was a good game, man. I was excited. The tennis looked like it's the best it's been since they've had it. I saw a little crowd out there, and I thought it was just a great representation. And the fact that all 32 teams were there it shows me that the NFL is committed and they at least see some value in this game that they they put because the NFL combine, the big combine is this week.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that mean they out in the field for 2 weeks straight. But it was worth their time. Let me put it that way. It was worth their time.
Good. Marcus, any thoughts or comments? I don't know if you got a chance to watch it all.
I did not. I just only saw the highlights and the social media posts. But overall, I think it was a good showing, and I think it's great that friend of the program, Steve Weish, and others have continued to give it positive promotions on social media and other platforms to make sure that the NFL teams and the fans are aware that our HBCU student athletes have a tremendous opportunity to vie for professional football aspirations after college.
Right. And there you can see a picture of Greg Coleman, another friend of the program, FAMU legend, Black College Football Hall of Famer. He's a part of that group that helps put that together. So you can see, he's a part of that's, Greg to the far left. Is a part of that with the guys. And as you guys mentioned in the chats, of course, Richardson was the offensive MVP, which now makes it 3 consecutive years that a Rattler has been either an offensive or defensive MVP. Of course, we remember last year, Xavier Smith was
2 years ago.
2 years. So 3 of the last 4 years.
Right.
3 of the last 4 years. Okay. 2 years ago, Xavier Smith was an offensive MVP. And then in I guess it would be the inaugural year, Antoine Collier, defensive back. And that's Antoine in the top right there wearing number 43 in black, defensive back. He was the defensive MVP in year 1. That's him. I think that's the quarterback who was from Grambling that year, hit bottom. So 3 of the last 4 years. I mean, this was the 4th year of the Legacy Bowl. 3 of the 4 years, a Rattler has been either offensive or defensive MVP. And of course, we saw, obviously we're very familiar with what Xavier's story has been. I'm not too familiar with where Antoine is right now, and where he's at, if he is still playing professionally. But we talked about Daniel's opportunities may show up in a league other than the NFL. I mean, it's fair to say, and we've seen them. We just saw an announcement of former FAMU football player just caught on with a team in Europe, professional league. Jeremy Musa just caught on with a team out in Europe. So there are opportunities, and we've seen the numbers, we've seen what guys can do, and so like you just said, it just takes somebody to like you, and thanks to Blue Zach McKinnell last week broke down a lot of the numbers and the metrics, and that the FAMU guys showed up. So all 5 guys may get an opportunity and more. I mean, because there are definitely some guys like our good friend Kelvin Dean, who wasn't a part of this, that are going to get looks. What's Pro Day again? What's the Pro Day again?
I believe it's March 20th.
Sounds right. Okay, March 20th. So
let's see if I can.
Yeah, we've got some. We got a little bit of time in the next couple of weeks. Next week we should have Kendall Bowler on the show, working on getting Jeremiah Pruitt on the show, and working on trying to get D Rich on the show. So over the next couple of weeks leading into Pro Day, we'll get some of those guys on the show and kind of find out how their journey is going, their thoughts on the Legacy Bowl, what they're doing after or in between, and so that way you guys can stay up to date with what they're hearing from their agents and what kind of opportunities. And who knows, man, we're still out there trying to get our former guys, our NFL guys. We're gonna have to reach out to like the NFL clubs. Maybe that's what we have to go through to get those guys on the show. We'll see. All right, but let's get ready to take our first break, because coming up on the other side, as mentioned, the SWAC Indoor Track and Field Championships just took place in Birmingham, Alabama. And coming up and joining us on the show is not only our the director of FAMU track, Coach G, but we're also going to talk to the fastest woman in the SWAC. That's right, the fastest woman in the SWAC. I said it. And then we're going to talk to the baddest man. I'm going to. There's a couple other runners that they put on some performances, but when you are bad enough to run and blow kisses to folks, I'm sorry, you're the baddest man on the track. So we're going to talk to Kirk, Dawkins, Nia Blocker, and Coach G coming up right on the other side of this break. You're watching the O&G StrikeZone right here on the Black College Sports Network. Hang with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
Planning an event? From weddings to corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC brings over 15 years of experience to make your vision a reality. Based in Metro Atlanta and serving statewide, even internationally, we provide versatile event planning and authentic catering cuisines tailored to your needs. Whether it's pre-game meals for student athletes, fundraisers, weddings, corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC is your one-stop solution for exceptional service and unforgettable food. Our diverse culinary heritage means we cater to all cultural tastes, dietary needs, and food restrictions, making every meal uniquely yours. Let's make your next event unforgettable. Visit us on all social media at CMJ Events LLC or email us at cmjeventsllc@gmail.com. Also give us a call at 404-664-3882 so that we can start planning now.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Bryan, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
Welcome back to the O&G StrikeZone. Bryan, Kelvin, Marcus, and look who we got joining us first up. Let me see. Oh, let's see. Coach, you got us? Oh, Coach is going to come back in. We got Coach G, Coach Garfield, Ellenwood II coming on to join us. We also will have here in a second Kirk Dawkins, two-time SWAC indoor champion, as well as the SWAC's, I want to make sure I say it right here. He was also named the most outstanding track performer at the SWAC indoors. And then, of course, Nia Blocker, again, a two-time SWAC champion over the weekend. I think we got him now. Let's bring in Coach G. Coach,
hey,
how you doing, Coach?
I'm good. And yourself? How's everybody doing?
Hey,
how's it going, Coach?
We're blessed, Coach. Doing well. And so we got Coach in. So let me bring in our two track athletes, our champions. You know, we like to have a championship coach on. We got to put them. We got to have some championship athletes right next to them. Let's bring ladies first. Let's bring the fastest woman in the SWAC, right? Sophomore from Bainbridge, Georgia, none other than Nia Blocker. How you doing, ma'am? Good to see you, Nia.
Hey, Nia.
Hi, y'all.
All right. Good to have you on. And then And then also joining us from Kingston, Jamaica, the baddest man in the SWAC.
Entertaining.
None other, the
Are
most
you not
entertaining man in the
entertained?
SWAC. Kirk Dawkins, the junior from Kingston, Jamaica. Kirk, welcome on to the show.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bryan.
Hey, good to have you guys on. Coach, why don't you give us the summary on the performances? It was an exciting day in Birmingham. We had let me see. I'm just going through my list here. We had, of course, Kirk winning the 800 meter, the men's 1 mile. We also had Kirk Powder winning the 60 meter hurdles. And we had Paul Roden winning the men's high jump. And then on the women's side, of course, as mentioned, Nia winning the 60 meter and the 200. And then we also had the women's distance medley winning of Alicia Douglas, Kira Copeland, Lacey DeBoski, and Tara Burt. Why don't you give us your thoughts on just overall the weekend for the men and women?
Well, the weekend was okay. We didn't, of course, fare the way we wanted to. On the men's side, we had some injuries. On the women's side, we just had some things falter. And, it cost us. That's on me as the head coach. It's my job to get back and figure out where we fell short and make sure that it doesn't happen again. So overall, the team title was the first thing that we wanted. But the individual performances, we held our own. I'm very proud of, what Nia did on the women's side, what Kirk did on the men's side, and what Kurt did on the men's side, Paul, Dejan, and the long jump. So overall, the individual performances, they performed pretty well. As you saw, what Kirk did was simply, I told him, I said, I take my hat off to him because what he did was, it was special. It showed his training, his confidence, everything shined through at that moment. As far as with Nia, she could tell you, I've been riding her pretty hard. And she finally executed what we were working on. She wasn't pleased with her times. And she'll, if you saw some of the videos, you probably saw how she reacted because she wanted more. But she executed. The championships is about winning that event. The times will come. We don't chase times. And that's what I talked to her about. So all in all, me personally, I give us a B. But okay. they know I'm hard, though. I'm hard.
Right. And just to let people know, overall, the women finished third and the men finished fifth overall this year. I believe I have those numbers correct. Kelvin, Marcus, any questions for Coach before we get in there with a few questions for Nia and Kirk?
Yeah.
Coach, I had a quick question just from a logistics standpoint. How do you, when you're having a championship track meet with both men and women competing, how do you manage the logistics of keeping track of everything and checking performances and everything to try to make sure everyone's performing at their peak level?
Well, you mean at the actual meet or prior to?
Yeah, at the meet. Because there's so much going on and you have different things going on. How do you manage? What's the logistics of actually doing that?
Yeah, you definitely pulled in every direction. Having my assistant coaches in their event areas. So they'll be with, let's say Coach Thomas is over with the jumpers. Coach Sid was over with the throwers. Coach Kitchen has the distance runners. Coach Love and I have the sprinters, but I'm constantly bouncing from place to place to place to make sure I'm encouraging, staying on top of things. As far as the warm-ups, they have a warm-up card to give them a guide on when they need to get warmed up and start their process, and then I'll come in and follow up to make sure they are where they need to be at that particular time leading up to the race. But everything is fast-paced. But, I did it as an athlete, carries over to being a coach. And the older I get, I'm going to have to slow down and groom. I'm grooming Brandon right now, so I don't have to move as much.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Go ahead, Kelvin.
Coach, from a strategy standpoint, on meet day, can you make adjustments to who's participating, or is that already submitted? You kind of locked into what you locked into?
No, that's pretty much, other than the relays, the only place you can kind of substitute. But, their performances will We either put them in the finals or have them sitting in the stands, one of the two. So they make the finals. They're on the line. They have their lanes, and it's about doing what you need to do between those two lines. You can't really coach too much at the meet. Just try and give them, a few cues here and there. But ultimately, it's them and the clock and how bad they want it.
Let me go. Let's go, ladies first. Let's talk to Naya here. And again, Naya, I hope I'm giving you your praise and your props when I call you the fastest woman in the SWAC. I always thought when you win the short distance races, and Coach, you correct me, right? I always thought that would kind of qualify you as being the fastest person out there, winning the 60 and the 200 that you pulled off this year. Tell us a little bit about your goals going in. We've seen you putting up great numbers all season in the indoor season, but take us behind the scenes on what it was like to be able to perform at your best when it mattered.
To be able to perform at my best, it felt great, So for me to perform and win, but not perform at my best, it didn't feel so well because I knew I could have done more. But I am still grateful that I was able to win, so.
Being and I guess indoor versus outdoor, are you comfortable? You love running both? Is there one that you're a champion on the indoor. I mean, you're pretty good on the outdoor too. But I mean, do you have a preference, or what's it like for you?
Well, I mean, I would say that I like outdoor more just because, like, I've just been running outdoor my whole career. So I've never ran indoor until I came to college. So I would say outdoor.
Okay. All right. Kelvin, Marcus, any questions for Naya?
Marcus.
I was going to ask Ms. Blocker, can you tell us about your journey to FAMU? How did you end up in orange and green?
I kind of wasn't sure exactly where I wanted to go when I was in high school, but my coach actually contacted me, and me going to Rickards for a while, I kind of heard about FAMU, so I knew it was a HBCU, and I knew I wanted to go to a HBCU, so I feel like it was the right choice for me.
Thank you.
Naya, didn't I see you run one of the relays too? And my question is, were you supposed to run that, and how do you like running that? Because I think that was like the 400, right?
Yes.
There's
a story. I feel a story there. Come on.
Hey, watch this. Don't worry about your coach being there. Tell us the truth.
I don't like running. But anytime I need to run, or if I know I need to do something, then I don't mind doing it if it's the better cause. Right. But I don't like running.
That's amazing.
Hey, to that point, Coach, talk about your decision to put her in that event.
She's known since the fall she was gonna run the 400.
Okay.
She is just, she skated by here and there. And I actually gave her the option because at that point in the time, I was like, okay, you don't have to run it, but she knows that that's what's going to make her 200 better outdoors. The stronger that 400 is. I come from a background. Our coach didn't let you run your open race until the 4x4 qualified for nationals. Right. Now, I won't do them like that, but I do believe that that's only going to make her better. And now she's starting to believe in it. And I mean, she split 55 seconds and still wasn't running. Right. But I think when we get outside, she'll be okay. Because indoor running for a lot of them they've run a meet, but outside of that, training outside is just a different element. And I think outside will be a lot better. I think she'll be a lot better. And I told her when she finally makes up her mind, if that clock says 52 anything, she's going to be a sub 11 runner. and a 22 low running. So that's the plan.
Okay.
And just to let people know, Naya ran a 7.42 on the women's 60. And then in the women's 200 meters, she ran a 23.43, which was your season best record. So two medals. Congratulations, Naya. What are your events for outdoor? When you're running outdoor, are you going to run the 200 and then are you a 100 meter person when it gets to outdoor?
Well, I'm a 100, a 200, 400.
Own it.
So I'm just prepared to run everything.
You be what you're gonna be what the team needs, right? That's what I'm hearing. Is that the vibe, Night?
Yeah.
I got it. Well, let's go over here. Let's take a second. We'll come back in a second with more questions. Maybe we got some questions in the chat room. I'll take a look. But let's go over to Kirk. Kirk, again, the SWAC's most outstanding track performer. And if any of you missed the 1 mile race, I'm telling you, you missed probably the most entertaining race of all. I don't care what you say. As I was watching the video again, Kirk.
Yes.
And okay, so I had the clip all queued up. Unfortunately, I'm having some technical issues. Let's see, how many laps is the mile?
8 laps.
Okay.
Indoors.
I
4 laps.
Okay, so I think somewhere about the, I don't know, 5th lap, you were in last.
Yes, sir.
And yes, and that's a good thing. I love our uniforms, Coach. The fact that we can know where we are because we wear that orange and green. I love that, by the way, compared to what everybody else in the SWAC is wearing. But you were in the back, and then all of a sudden, in the last 2 laps, Kirk, it was like even my good friend Mo Carter on the call had no idea that you were there. And then all of a sudden, he looked up and said, "Oh my God, Kirk is coming from the back," and it's just like. They said you played possum. What was the strategy? Because at the last lap, you basically just said, okay, it's done. Playtime's over. And you just took over. Just talk to us about the strategy of that race and just the way it turned out.
Okay, so as Coach G stated earlier, when we approach our races, we don't tend to, try to run fast times. It's all about executing. It's a SWAC championship. The guys are going there. The girls are going there. We're just going there to get the overall title. So in my mind, approaching that race, I was just like, get the win. Regardless if it's going to be a slow time or a fast time, I was prepared for anything that was coming my way. So the first few laps, I just got in position. I saw that the guys from Jackson State went out there, and the pace was basically, for me, no disrespect to the companies in SWAC, but I know the distance runners, they don't got the speed that I got, because here we train speed day in, day out. Right here, I call it the speed capital here at FAMU. So approaching the first 3 laps, it was just, getting, your legs getting warm just to execute when it matters most. And that's what I did. I stayed and played possum, as the commentator said, and wait for my move at the last to see uncomfort in my competitors' physical appearance and decide to make my move.
And man, what a move it was. And then, I mean, the last down the home stretch, Kirk. I mean, the I don't know what blowing kisses or you just. I mean, you knew you had it won. I mean, just that emotion. I mean, was it anybody you were talking to in particular? Who were you blowing those kisses to, man? I mean, that was like next level.
Yeah. So as I stated earlier, the support. Being a Rattler, we strike and strike again. So I was watching about the race. The commentator didn't have no idea that we were supposed to make that move on the last lap. So there I saw my teammate, I saw my coach, I heard Coach G on the side. Coach was like, "Kirk, get up there. What are we doing? Stop the plane." So I'm like, it's just the emotions. I saw my teammates, they really wanted this one. I looked over there, I saw my training partner Tara, and I saw Coach K. Coach K didn't even break a sweat. She was just there chilling until the last lap. She was like, "Kirk, go get him." And that's what I did. So It's just trusting the process and trusting your training and executing.
And mind you, now I had no idea what they was doing. Him and Coach K, they do what they do. I don't bother them, but I was having a heart attack on the side.
Go ahead, Kelvin and Marcus. I'm gonna pull up the video because I think people got to see the video. I think I got the video queued, so you guys go ahead with some questions that you got for Kirk or Coach or Naya. Go ahead, then. I'm gonna pull the video up.
Yes, Kirk. So my first question is, have you run other events? Because I've not. I saw the 800 and the mile, and you did pretty much the same thing on both. And I was shocked to see your speed on that last lap. So it looks like you've done some sprints before.
All right. So to be honest, just coming to FAMU, my PR in the 400 was like 51 or 52 flat out speed. I'm gonna be honest. Even Naya could probably beat me in the 400 at the moment. So that's why I made the move to FAMU. You know, Coach G is an excellent sprint coach. Coach Tamika Kinchen, excellent in her craft also. We spoke about the different aspects of my races and which I need to improve on, you know, that speed-wise. And since I came here at FAMU, we've been training day in, day out and increasing foot speed. We do short intervals to increase different periods of the race. And I can say since my second year here at FAMU, I've seen my speed increase drastically over the moments that I've been here. So it's all about practice, trusting the process and executing what you have practiced in the races.
Well, to that point, and Coach G, you can jump into this. How do you train for 800 and a miler like that? What do they run? You know, and especially if you're working on specific areas of it. So, kind of break down the science for me.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. That's all Coach K. All I do, I put him on. I work on his sprint mechanics when they ask me to. We have a overspeed machine. But that's him trusting in her and in her plan and what they're doing. I tell you, I'm their biggest, the distance group, I'm their cheerleader. Right. I try and chime in, like I said, when it comes to running mechanics, but that's 95% them and just me being a cheerleader. So honestly, we have to get her in here because I say I don't bother her. I'm the type of coach. You do your thing. I trust you to do your area. I'm gonna handle this, and I sent them a picture before the championship and said we're gonna come together like Voltron. They ain't know who the hell Voltron was. that went out there. But the point is, we all come together to form as one.
Hey, Kirk, I got one more question for you.
Yes, sir.
Have you always been an entertainer? Do you have that same similar personality off the track, and then have you done that in the meet before? Because I'm telling you, I was thoroughly entertained.
Okay, so it's a great question. So as it relates to personality, all my teammates, all my friends, my family back home, they know that I'm an individual that has an upbeat spirit. So once you're on Kirk, it's all fun and laughter, but we're trying to get the aspect of business that when it's time to deal with business, we need to lock in and execute what we need to execute. So on the track, as you can see, I like to have fun, and off the track too, I like to have fun, but while keeping that business aspect of the racing.
Gotcha. Good answer. Yeah. All right.
Marcus, go ahead. As we get to this, I think we're coming up on that last lap.
This is right here.
Yeah, this is the last lap here. And you can see, if you notice when I started the video where Kirk was, and here he is, and then he just kicked it in. And then all of a sudden, my guy Mo was like, okay, here we go. It's a race now. And he just blew everybody away. So Marcus, you got any questions? I had another follow-up because Kirk, you did something similar in the 800 where you were behind on the 800, and then that one was a little closer though.
Yes, sir.
I guess the one question I have, and I'm looking at, this is my first time seeing the showmanship there, but just in general, tell us about how you ended up at FAMU and what your experience has been so far.
Okay, so coming out of college in Jamaica, I went to Kingston College High School. Moving to America to pursue your education and your athletics career, it's a bit of a ups and downs as an international student. So making my first move out of Jamaica, I went to the university at Albany. But there, I just knew that that program wasn't the right fit for me as it relates to, I couldn't find a balance between mileage and speed. I was getting more of one than the rather than the other. So uh saw FAMU. I always want to go to a historical black college university. I did my research. I saw that Coach has his talent that he nurtured from a younger age upward. That's why he nurtured Olympians. He worked at Alabama State with Michaela Rose, as another fellow Jamaican athlete. He helped to increase her foot speed, and she did great on the level that she was on. Tamika Kinchen, I did my research on her too. You know, Coach K, the call went great. I was in the portal. We decided on what are the do's and don'ts of a middle distance athlete. We spoke about speed, or to balance the speed alongside the mileage. And I just felt that FAMU was the right space for me. And it's turning out good. So I just trusted the conversation that we had earlier, and everything is playing out. So I'm just grateful for that.
Well, thank you
And
very much.
one thing you should know about him, he's a 3.0 student as well in the business program.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Let me I want to give Naya some shine here. So let me show that 60. Let me flip over to that 60 meter race here. Naya, you want to give us some behind the scenes or some thoughts here as you're getting ready to get going here.
So with me, I tend to like stay down or push more than I'm supposed to when I'm only running a 6. So I really just had to try and pay attention to the blue mark that was on the track, and then I just slowly came up, and yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
The rest is history, as they say. 7 seconds in a cloud of dust. It's awesome stuff. Good stuff. Congratulations to both of you. Go ahead, Kelvin.
Let me jump in. So, Coach Naya, what is it in her speed race? You know, the 100. Let's say the 100. What is it that we're looking for to improve upon? What are some things that would get her to the time she's looking for and that we're looking for?
Just keep building where if you know that race, she actually put that race together properly, and you could see the acceleration when it was getting ready to happen. She just, I mean, it was only 60 meters, but I saw exactly what I needed to see going into 100 meters. And her position is getting better and better and better. She came from not understanding track to now understanding track, now understand her body, feeling her body, things that it just takes time. And now she's starting to mature as an athlete. It's nothing but up from here, because she can now tell me what she did or didn't do. And that's the key to sprinting, understanding what you're supposed to be doing and feeling it and be able to give feedback.
Coach, I'm interested in your thoughts on just in general the competition. We had one guy from Alabama State, if I'm not mistaken, he qualified for the national indoor meet, right? NCAA meet, and he had the fifth, and he had the 5th best time in the world, if I'm not mistaken.
3rd in the country. I mean, to run what he ran on that track and that 200 meter was very impressive. Very impressive. His positioning, everything. He's on another level right now, without a doubt. I show respect to him and what his coach has been doing. That's what you work for performances like that.
Explain to me the strategies or the things that you think. I think Texas Southern won the men's side, right?
Yeah, they won the men's side.
And then Alabama State won the women's side. So I know there's some strategies and teams play their strengths. Some people have sprinters. Some people have build up points in the field events.
Mm-hmm.
Some teams are balanced. Some teams have distance. Kind of tell me what you saw in terms of those top 4 teams.
Well, definitely Texas Southern. They had depth. Both Texas Southern and Alabama State had depth in different areas. Texas Southern did theirs more from a field event, distance side. They had some pole vaulters, things of that nature. Alabama State did it more from a distance side. On the women's side, they had like a couple of sprinters in there. But it's just about depth. You have to decide, do you want to go more quantity over quality? Our position is we're going to go more quality than quantity, and it's all based on being able to give each athlete what they need. I mean, right now I have a volunteer throw coach, so it's really hard to put money into the throws when you're not sure if you're going to have a coach to actually coach them. Because the last coach I had last year was a volunteer, and then he left to go back to Puerto Rico. So, things like that. So you got to pick your poison and where your strengths are and where you're going to be able to have the people to service the athletes to where they need to be. So
excellent insight. Thank you.
Coach, I wonder if you would, for a second, give you a chance to talk on a few of the other champions from the weekend. I'm going to start with the men's high jump. Paul Roden, who's a junior, jumped a 2.17 meters, or that's 7 feet and 1.5 inches for those of you who don't do the conversions on their own. That was a personal record for him. But what I found interesting is that he actually defeated Caleb Snowden, who from UAPB was defending champ, not only of the indoor but outdoor last year. And if many people will recall, he finished like top 3 in the NCAAs, if I'm not mistaken, last year. So talk a little bit about Paul and that performance by him.
Yeah, and that young man's actually an Olympian for his country as well. So it was a big victory for Paul. Paul is a junior college champion, came in and has just taken to Coach Thomas's training. Coach Steve Thomas is our jumps coach, but he's had multiple Olympians. We worked together when we were at Mississippi State. So I knew those two together, the sky's the limit. And I'm so excited about what he's going to bring outdoor. He's also a long jumper as well. We didn't have enough time to kind of get that together because, you're in Tallahassee. We probably had 8 full days of training in January alone with the bad weather and school being closed and things of that nature. So going into the outdoor season, we're looking for big things, not only in the high jump, but the long jump as well. But Paul came in and represented. He's grateful and glad to be a Rattler. And as you saw, he was grabbing his jersey. He was so proud to represent. And I'm happy for him. I'm happy he's here, of course, but definitely happy for him.
And also on the men's side, we had Kirk Powder, which, that created all kinds of challenges for whether it be the SWAC or just, we had a lot of Kirks and Kurt. And so, we had some challenges keeping up with all of that. But Kurt, K-U-R-T, Powder, he won the 60-meter hurdles with a time of 7.93. And Kurt is a senior. Talk a little bit about him and his performance.
Yeah, Kurt is a transfer from the University of Florida. He's actually coming back. He had tore his Achilles. So this is a comeback story for Kurt. And again, just getting him in January, I'm so excited about what the possibilities are going to be for outdoors, because now I'm going to have enough time to really work on fixing some things for him in the hurdle event. He believes in me, and I believe in him. So I'm looking for some great performances outdoors. And he's going to be at the NCAA championships unless God has other plans.
True. All right. And then jumping over to the women's side, outside of Naya, we did have our our distance medley relay team that ended up finishing in first. And the relays, we've had a good relay season indoors overall. So this didn't surprise me at all. But let you talk about these ladies and their performance.
Well, we really just wanted them to finish in the top 3 and get the points, because Tyra, Dougie, Alicia Douglas, they had run multiple races already that day. And Lacey and Kyra, actually Alicia started us off well. Lacey put us in the lead, and Tyra brought it home. And like I said, Coach K's plan was, hey, let's just get some points because you guys are tired. But they went after it, and they brought it home the second year in a row.
All right. Good stuff. All right, so let's sort of bring it back to Nia and Kirk, and maybe kind of close up our segment as we now transition. So I guess let me ask: is there anything happening related to indoor, or does anyone qualify for NCAA indoors, or are we officially closing the book on the indoor season?
Yeah, we've officially closed the book on the indoor season, and practice started back today for outdoors, and it's time to go after this championship outdoors and get as many qualified for the NCAA championships as possible.
All right. And so I'll go over to Nia first. Nia, last year you qualified for the East prelims and the 100 and 200 meter. Talk a little bit about what your goals are for the outdoor season, and where do you want to be come May when it's time for SWAC championships?
Well, by that time, I want to be running like 22 low in my 200, and in my 100, I would like to be running close to 10.9. And I know that, like Coach G said, I have to run the 400 for me to be able to build that speed for both of those races. So it just takes time.
Okay. All right. And I'll go over to you, Kirk. For you were a silver medalist in the 800 in the SWAC indoors. What are some of your outdoors? Excuse me. What are some of your goals for the outdoor season?
So this year for the outdoor season, I'm trying to win the gold in the 1500 meters and the gold medal in the 800 meters. So I know we don't do the mile outdoor, but it's 100 meter less outdoors. So what I'm trying to do is just retain, I haven't had the title, but I'm trying to retain the victory in the 800 meter for the outdoor and the 1500. And alongside, in the latter part of the season, I'm trying to make it to nationals. So first, I know it's top 48, make it to regionals. So I just got to use my first few meets, try to book that mark from early so we can sit in the right space, so we can start preparing for that nationals when it's time for it to come.
All right. Nice. Coach, you want to tell us anything to look forward to for the outdoor season? Any news, any particular meets that we should be looking out for, or just ways that we can continue to support the program?
Well, yeah, we have our Tallahassee, Florida State relays will be the 28-29. So anyone in Tallahassee wants to come see the athletes, that'll be the opportunity to see them in Tallahassee perform. And then after that, we'll be rolling on Gainesville, Orlando, Jacksonville, and then the SWAC championships, and then the NCAA regionals this year will be in Jacksonville. So that'll be a great meet for people that want to come out and just, if they love track and field, to see the whole east side of the country from Maine to Miami will be performing, and as far west as Louisiana will be performing there. And like I said, our goal is to have as many athletes qualified as possible. And I feel really good about it. Last year we took a record amount, and I think we're going to smash that this year.
Nice. And I see on the.
Yes,
go ahead, Kelvin.
Yeah, I know. I heard you mention you had some injuries, I think, on the men's side. Is there? Do you think outdoor season you'll get some of them back?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, we're rehabbing now, and a lot of, like, the young man Alpha. I can't say his last name, but he's from Zimbabwe. Literally, he has only run 2 indoor meets ever. The first one was 48, then bam, he drops right to 47. I'm looking for him to run very well outside. I think both our relays are going to be fine outside. So yeah, I think we'll be right where we need to be getting to the outdoor season.
Okay. All right. The outdoor season again begins March 7th and March 8th, the River City Invitational right there in Jacksonville, Florida. So calling all my Duval Rattlers, make sure you guys are there to see that. The River City Invitational, March 7th through the 8th. So we got to make sure we be there for that. And then, of course, as Coach said, the Terry Long relays right in Tallahassee, March 27th and 28th. So those are the two upcoming outdoor meets. Let me give it over to to Naya and Kirk to kind of give you a chance to kind of give some shout outs and anything that you want to say to Rattler Nation as we kind of close up. I'll give you guys the word. Naya, we'll start with you.
I want to tell all of my teammates you guys did a really amazing job. And I want to thank you for putting in your. It really means a lot to us, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. And Kirk, let me go over to you, give you a chance to give any shout outs or anything you want to say to Rattler Nation.
Yeah, first, I want to say big shout out to God. Got to put God first. Second shout out I want to give to my coach, Tamika Kinchen, for believing in me. Last year we messed up in the indoor season, but we came back this year. I knew she really wanted this one, so I had to make it special for her. Big shout out to Coach G for giving me this opportunity and a full scholarship here at Florida A&M University. This is one of the best institutions I've ever been at. I just want to have a great shout out to my teammates too for believing in me. They push me every day in practice. They got my back, and I love that. And I just want to shout out people in back home in Jamaica for supporting me, and all my friends here too. Yeah, I'm a mom.
Yeah, don't miss out on mom now. Don't miss out on family there. So, what a pleasure it's been to talk to you, Naya and Kirk. It's a pleasure to finally to see you, talk to you. We watch you out on the track, and we've seen the pictures, and man, you guys are amazing representation of all that's great at FAMU. The fastest woman in the SWAC, the baddest man in the SWAC. I mean, Coach, it's always fun talking to the young people that you get to work with. I mean, it's always good time when we get a chance to talk to them.
Well, we truly appreciate, everything, the support that you guys give us. Trust me when I say it goes a long way.
All right. Well, again, congratulations to all of the Rattlers. Everybody, I saw a lot of personal best, season best times. A lot of people made it to the podium. So shout out to all of those individuals. We'll make sure to kind of recognize all of them in some form or fashion. We tried to make sure to retweet as much as we could to make sure you guys know that we see the work that you guys are putting in, and we love it. We love it.
Yes.
And we can't wait for outdoor season. We know we're gonna tear it up on the track in the outdoor season. So congratulations. Any last words you want to say, Coach?
No, hey, just thank you again for the support. All the Rattlers out there that have donated to our program, we truly appreciate it. It's helping with our rehab, our prehab, and we thank you.
All right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Coach G and Naya Blocker and Kirk Dawkins, both of them two-time SWAC indoor champions and coming to an outdoor track to burn it up near you pretty soon. So thank you guys for joining us. Let's take a break and come back and get into some more of the busiest day of the 2025 athletic season was Saturday. We're going to talk more about it on the other side. You're watching the O&G StrikeZone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
human voice has always connected audiences with experiences. Major brands all across America have trusted Kever's voice time and time again. Conversational, powerhouse, intelligent, and sincere. That's the voice you need for your creative marketing process. KEAVERSVOICE.com. Kever's Voice, Kever's Voice, KeversVoice.com. Always on, all the time.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
All right. Welcome back to the O&G StrikeZone. Bryan, Kelvin, Marcus here. Again, got to say thank you to Coach G, and also thank you to Nia Blocker and Kirk Dawkins for joining us. Great conversation with them. Hopefully you guys enjoyed those videos. I know Gail had asked in the chats about those direct links, and I do have them. I don't have them spliced though. I'm able, one of the things I did, because of course it was on the SWAC digital network, so it's on YouTube. I was able to go in and kind of bookmark the link, so that way it'll start right when that event is happening. So I don't know, maybe I can, how can I put that out there? Maybe I'll send out a tweet. So how about that? So make sure you're following the O&G StrikeZone on Twitter. And after the show, I will retweet those races, or at least it'll be the YouTube feed from the SWAC Digital, but it'll start right when those races are either about to start or in case of Kirk in that mile, right when it was getting good, about a minute in, where you can clearly see he's in last place, and then kind of works his way to the front in beautiful fashion. So yeah, I'll make all that available to you guys. Good to see some of our regulars making it into the chat room. I see Sweet checking in. I see Dr. Lori's in the building. Jeremiah Clark, Adrian Crook, some of our HBCU friends coming in. Russell Haynes checking in, jumping in as well. Let me see. I see Christopher Dukes in there. Let me see. Anybody else that I didn't get to earlier from the shout outs that you guys saw in the chat? There's a lot of conversations going on. I don't really know what they're talking about in there, but I hope everyone's being nice and playing nice. Watch JDTV checking in. Let's see who else is in there. Area.
Area.
Oh, Area's in there. Okay, good. Tim Young. You know what? I'm sorry, Tim, that I did not ask your question because Tim had asked a question that I didn't get. I think you kind of hinted a little bit on this, Kelvin. So I think you probably saw the same thing. But Tim asked, what do we need to get more or to be able to win? I feel like we've asked Coach about this on other conversations we had with him. Are we at our full scholarship limit? with track. What do you know, Kelvin? What can you share?
If I remember correctly, I think on the women's side we had built up to the number. I can't remember what it is because I know they're changing some things. I think it's around 30, 33 maybe on the women's side, and on the men's side, I know we didn't have all those scholarships filled at the time. He was building his staff and bringing in the right people, and also, which is why I say it was great insight when Coach talked about the fact that because you have volunteer coaches, certain events they're not targeting, and because they can't give the FAMU experience and give the kids the opportunity to compete at the highest level. And I think that's a smart way to do things. Instead of doing things. So I love it.
All right, good stuff. I think I covered anything that I missed regarding track. Any accolades or anything that we missed. I'll tell you when that meet turned for us, because as it relates to the women's race, we were in first place by maybe about 5 points, 4 or 5 points, with maybe 12 of the 17 events scored. And it was the women's 800. This is right after Kirk had won the men's 800. I can't remember which ran first, the women or the men's 800. But going into the women's 800 meter, we had just placed. Here's what it was: we had just placed second and fourth in. God, I tweeted it out, so I don't know exactly which event it was, but we had just sort of jumped into the lead, and then that doggone 800 meters happened, and Alabama State took first, second, and I think they might have took fourth or fifth. No, actually, they took first, second, fifth, and sixth, and we finished. We had our top two runners didn't have seventh and eighth. So by the time you took all the points from first, second, fifth, and sixth, that was 23 points. They outscored us like 25-3 in that one event, and they thus jumped 18 points ahead of us, and we never got. I mean, that was it. They kind of just ran away with it. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered no matter what we had done in the final events, because at that point I think there were only like 3 other races left. So, yeah, and we were, what we missed this year, I thought, is we didn't have a Brianna Brown Marshall like we had last year. We didn't have that. We didn't have that indoor. We didn't have that jumper. And also we didn't have Kennedy. Kennedy, I think she scratched in terms of shot put. So we didn't have. So we just missed out on a few places that. Previous year when we won the title last year, those were events that helped us win last year. We edged out Alabama State. This year we didn't have those. So, and I thought I don't know what the men did last year, but I feel like we made a big jump. Finishing fifth was pretty good for us compared to last year. I think last year we were bottom half.
Right. And considering the number of athletes we have participating in the events, the guys that we brought, the young ladies and young men that we brought, pretty much performed. They brought in points, all of them pretty much. So,
yeah. But shout out to Mo Carter, the SWAC Digital Network.
Good job.
Also, doing the interviews was I'm drawing a blank here.
Stan,
thank you. Stan Beckton was there doing the interviews with the various athletes, which was kind of funny because he would get one champion and then he couldn't get to him because they had to go get ready for another event, but he eventually did talk to a lot of the champions. So shout out to Stan and Mo, and just a great quality production. So I kudos to to the SWAC. James Crenshaw, his production company, they did a great job with that. And I think that's one of the things that, you know, people want the SWAC digital network to, that's what you want. You want this, and we see that they're capable. I mean, we saw quality broadcasting, quality camera angles. It was a good production. I really enjoyed. I think I watched pretty much that whole meet on my bus back from Atlanta. So I loved it. I loved being able to watch it. So good stuff. Good stuff. How about, can we transition to basketball? How about that?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So Alabama, which had been very kind to us over previous
Alabama.
Yeah. We coined it. And I mean, but this particular weekend, this was not a great weekend for us in Alabama.
No.
Nope.
Losing 3 of the 4 games, men and women, and close games at that. I mean, the women on Thursday lost what would be their 4th consecutive single-digit loss, losing 70-67 to Alabama A&M, who I think is right now tied for first in. I mean, there's like 4 teams tied for first in the SWAC, and Alabama A&M is one of those, and Jackson State is too, and we lost to Jackson State by 3. So, you know, I know the frustration that people have, but we're like we're
close.
Right there. We're
Close.
so close. Yeah, but that's the second time that we lost to A&M, and we lost to them by 4 the first time. So the number 1 team in the SWAC, we've lost by 4 and 3. The number 2 team, which is Jackson State, we lost by 3 the other day. You know, so the first game, I think we had a lead going into the 4th quarter, ended up losing by 10. So that game against A&M, there were 21 lead changes in that game. The score was tied 15 times. Let that sink in. The thing that hurt us is the thing that sometimes always hurts us sometimes. 25 turnovers in that game. A&M scored 19 points off those turnovers. Sabu Gay led the team with 18 points, 7 boards, and 4 assists. Cheyenne McEvans had 12 and 9. I don't know. Did you guys happen to pay anything on the paywall with A&M to watch that game?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
But I did keep up with the tracker though, and I'll say, and I know you're gonna get to the second game in a minute. The single-digit quarters, we had close to single-digit quarters in the game we won, but we didn't have any single-digit quarters. We were just consistent flat line, 10, 11, 12, 11. But the first game we had another single-digit quarter, so that's kind of our Achilles heels.
Yeah, man, it's we won game number 2, 48-40 against Alabama State. Now we beat Alabama State the first time we played them by almost 40. This one,
it's tough when we went on the road though. It's different on the road.
Okay, that's what they say. That's what they say.
It is.
So, okay.
Your shots don't fall. As the men's team, your shots don't fall the same necessarily on the road.
Don't they? Sabu Gay, McEvans each had 11 points. Demaya Griffin had 10. It ended our 4-game losing streak. We are 6-9 in the SWAC, which is 7th place, if I'm not mistaken, in the standings. 7th place right now. Again, the top 6 teams, I don't know if they're calling it a bye, but I'm going to call it a bye. The first 6 teams don't have to play the opening round game in the SWAC tournament. Of course, 7 through 10 all have to play. I think we are tied with either Alcorn or Bethune for that 6th spot. I don't know. Do you guys recall who we're tied with, the women?
I do not. But ultimately, to your point, outside of those 3 or 4 teams top who tied at the top, the middle of the pack is jumbled too. It's gonna come down to these last 3 games, and all 3 teams will be playing down the stretch, are either ahead of us or tied with us, I think. So
Yeah. So I just pulled up the standings from the text that I sent to you guys via that chat group on Tuesday. So right now in the SWAC on the women's side of things, Texas Southern is in first place with a 13-2 conference record. Southern is 12-2. Alabama A&M is 12-3. So they sit a full game behind Texas Southern, and then Jackson State is 11-3. Now, outside of the top 4, here's where it gets interesting in how this weekend will be real important for us. Grambling is in 5th with a record of 8-6. Of course, we play Grambling. We play Grambling Saturday. Saturday the doubleheader.
Yep.
All right. Alcorn, who we've beaten, is 7-7. Then we are tied with Bethune at 6-9. In actually 7th and 8th. So Bethune is behind us only by the virtue of the fact that we beat them at the beginning of the season, conference season. And again, our final 3 games, these last 2 weekends, we play Southern tomorrow, Grambling on Saturday, and then the following Saturday, Bethune. So
destiny's in our hands.
Just very similar to last year, almost in a similar spot as last year, where not that we are at risk of missing out on the tournament. I don't think that is in play. Although we don't want to play around with it, right? We don't want to play around with it. And so we need to win. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like we need to win 2 of these 3. I would like for this team to go into the conference at least 8-10. 8-10 is what we were last year, right? So yeah, I feel like that should be the floor, is going in and winning 2 out of 3, which I think we're capable of given the performance. What I think would be a big boost is if we find a way to get a win tomorrow against Southern.
yes.
And that would be a win against Southern's women, who right now, again, sitting pretty much a half a game out of first place. It's doable. Exactly. Colin said it's doable. It's very doable to get that win tomorrow. Any other thoughts you guys want to add on the women's side of things?
Nope. Let's get her done.
Yeah.
What's that sigh there, Marcus? That was a deep sigh, man. That was deep. That was
yeah, just all these close but no cigars could just, the season could really be kind of close to the men's, if we had a couple things fall our way and a couple things on the court that were a little bit stronger.
Man, when you do the math, and to only score 10 points in a quarter, you're essentially saying we can only make maximum 5 baskets. That's not even counting some potential free throws, or maybe even you hit a 3. So in essence, you're probably saying you're probably averaging maybe 4 baskets a quarter. That's tough. Yeah, and there's a shot clock. There's a 30-second shot clock. Damn. I only get 10 or 11 points a quarter is head scratching. I don't know.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, it is. It is. All right, let's move over to the men's side. Again, the men were last week coming out of the Monday game. One of the hottest teams in the SWAC, had won 9 out of 10. People were starting to recognize. People were, starting to pop up in people's rankings. And I was feeling pretty good. I was feeling pretty good about our chances in Alabama. And We started on Saturday with Alabama State. And Jesus, man.
Another 1-point loss.
Yeah, another 1-point loss. Losing 60-59 to Alabama State, who ended up scoring the go-ahead layup with 12 seconds to play in the game. Followed up, how crazy the last minute was. Sterling Young, who ended up with 23 points and 3 rebounds in the game, he hit a three-pointer with 54 seconds left to put us in the lead. Then State hit a pair of free throws to take the lead, or it was either free throws or basket, but they ended up regaining the lead. Then Sterling came back, hit a pair of free throws to regain the lead with 25 seconds left. So we essentially, it was almost the opposite of what happened the last time we played them. But, State ended up getting the go-ahead bucket with 12 seconds. We lose again on the last possession, had the ball in our hands with about almost the same amount of time. Because I think we had we had 13 seconds the last time we played State and couldn't get a bucket. This time, a similar 12 seconds, couldn't get a bucket. We ended up losing by 1. We committed 15 turnovers. Alabama State only committed 6. The big number is we shot 4 of 19 from the arc. And that, so go ahead and use your cliches, whatever cliches y'all got out there. You win by the 3, you down by the 3, all that stuff, go ahead. When you're not hot and you're not hitting, it happens, right?
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens. As Kelvin said, tough to win on the road, right? What was probably the more shocking game of the weekend was losing to Alabama A&M, 77-66. A game that we just got down early, and I don't think we ever lead that game. I don't think we ever led that game.
Nope.
They jumped on us, or we couldn't hit shots. We trailed from start to finish and could not. That was a team that, in talking to a friend who covers A&M and plays attention, he basically told me he was like, I don't know how this A&M team is going to win this game based on how they've been playing going into it.
What I would tell you though, Bryan, when we play them in Tallahassee, they're built like an old school team. They're very athletic and they got decent length, but they're not shooters, which is what made this game so strange. They started off like 5 or 10 or something from 3-point range. They were hitting threes like it was no tomorrow in the first quarter, in the first half. And they are typically not a good shooting team.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was
on the
out
good side of the bed, I guess.
Yeah. So again, basketball about making shots. Sometimes they were making shots from long distance, and we weren't. I think we started off 0 for 7 or something like that. I don't think we made our first 3 until about 3 minutes left in the half.
Yeah, it was a bad shooting night for us, just all the way around in that contest. So for the men, they start the weekend against Grambling on Saturday, Southern on Monday, and then next Saturday, the Bethune game. And the standings, Southern, of course, is in first place with a 3-game lead over Jackson State. Southern is 13-1. Jackson State and Texas Southern are sitting at 2nd and 3rd. And, Bethune is too. This is how crazy that whole weekend is, right? We go from 2nd place last Monday to 6th. We dropped 4 spots by losing 2 games.
Yeah.
That's how tight it is from 2nd to, I'm going to even include Alcorn in this because Alcorn is sitting just a half a game behind us. We're 9-6. Alcorn is 8-6. So from Jackson State at 2, from 2 to 7, there's a two-game difference, right? 2-game difference. I hey, guess what? EA might be right here. We're not sneaking up on anyone anymore. I think people, people have figured it. I'm not gonna say they figured us out, but put it like this: people, you're no longer sleeping on FAMU coming in the door, and so Grambling right now is 6-8. They are sitting, just outside. Let me see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're the 8th seed right now in the tournament, but don't sleep. We can't afford to sleep on Grambling. We need that win because the margins are that thin. I mean, we can get back to second place, but we can't have a bad shooting night again. We just can't. We have to be able to make some shots, and we have to be able to defend. I know that was something that coach was very big on, is our ability to defend. So we got to be able to cut that off.
Well, we defended well against Alabama State. I mean, we only gave up 60. But that A&M game, I can see why we got behind early and why that surprised us, because their guard play, they're athletic and they got decent length, but they hadn't shown the ability to shoot or get their own shots off the dribble for that matter. But they definitely did it at home though.
Right. So, and then of course Bethune is there. So this is a big 3-game stretch. You couldn't ask for a bigger stretch of games between Grambling and Southern this weekend, beginning tomorrow, Thursday, ending on Monday, the doubleheader on Saturday. Hopefully that'll be well packed. How would you assess the crowds the last homestand, Kelvin?
I thought it was strong. I thought it was really good. JSU was the largest crowd I think I've seen all year. I still want to see the students do a better job, though. That's the one constituency that has not come out in full force good numbers. Alumni and the community, they come along doing a lot better. But we students, y'all come on out and support your peers, please.
Man, I would love to know what the disconnect is with the student body. I know they're trying. I know there's different entities trying to do things. I don't know what the disconnect is right now. And their tickets are free for students. So, the 100, I mean, the whole 300 band looked like they were there last weekend. I don't know how many people were there, but it looked like all 300 were there. So, I don't know. Yeah, I agree. EA said we got to win 2 out of 3. I think both the men and women got to win 2 out of these last 3.
Absolutely. And you want the momentum. You need no momentum, going into the tournament, it's generally about momentum, who's coming in, playing well, kind of know who they are, their identity. So yeah, we need that big mo going into the tournament.
For real. Make plans to be in Atlanta for the SWAC tournament. The SWAC tournament will begin. Let me see if I got the
March 11th.
Right. March 11th, Tuesday, March 11th through the 15th. And those of you flying, if you want to fly in, you can stay. You can stay all by the airport. You don't have to go far away because the stadium is right near the airport. The hotel is near the airport. It's all very convenient for you to be able to fly in and fly out of Atlanta without having to travel deep into the city. So it's a great venue spot for the SWAC, and it should be a great basketball weekend. I think there's so much uncertainty. I think on the women's side, because you don't have the Jackson State. I mean, Jackson State is still having a good season, but they're not a guarantee because you got 3 other teams that are having good seasons. And then I think there's a couple of outliers. I'm just gonna say it. I mean, I would consider us as an outlier. We could mess around and shock one of these top 4 seeds because we played all 4 of them pretty close.
Yeah.
It just, all you gotta do is have a good day. The team that makes the fewest turnovers, the fewest mistakes is usually the team that wins. And if we can find a way to be that team for 2-3 straight games, that makes all the difference in the world. All the difference in the world.
Got to make buckets, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Mike, let's see. Mike says, is this season finale being promoted as senior night? I don't know. I don't even know who our seniors are. I know, didn't Coach Gordon say she had about 8 young ladies who were playing in their last game last season?
Yes.
Yes. And actually had a quick review. Well, I did a quick review of who the seniors were. The only one that we know, because I think she let the cat out the bag. I think Miss McEvans is coming back. I think she said she had another year.
She does. I know McEvans has another year.
But there are a whole lot of folks that were listed.
I think Sabu has another year too.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? No? Okay.
She was a grad student.
Oh, okay. Okay. And on the men's side, I don't know. Let me see. Who's the hottest team right now going into the tournament? That's a good question.
You probably got to go with the top seeds right now. Southern on the men's side. As of today, Southern on the men's side, and Texas Southern on the women's side.
I'm still not a buyer, and I'm not buying Texas Southern on the women's side. I think it's all too new for them. I would, I'm not gonna say
they rugged as they rugged.
Honestly, I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna have to almost think Texas. I think Southern on both sides is the team to beat. On both sides, if I had to handicap it, I would say Southern on both sides, men and women. That's the team to beat. Now, I mean, mess around and somebody could shock somebody. Alabama A&M could show up. Texas Southern. That's why I said it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good basketball. It really is, and I think the quarterfinals are gonna be really interesting to see how those play out. That is gonna be some good basketball on that first day.
So let me say this, Bryan. And if you watch SWAC basketball, over the last few seasons, it's pretty consistent. I'm gonna tell you what really gonna come down to. It's gonna come down to how the game's officiated.
Yeah, especially for us.
Yeah. If key players get in foul trouble early, and they over referee the game, they kill the flow a lot of times, and it's frustrating to watch sometimes when they calling so many fouls unnecessarily away from the play. Just anticipate. A lot of fouls seem to be anticipatory, meaning someone's momentum is carrying them one way. You just assume that if they don't make the shot, they got hit. So hopefully they'll call the game the way it's supposed to be played and clean, and not try to over officiate.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's move off the court for a moment. Let's get over to the Diamonds and maybe just kind of do a quick recap and an update on what things are looking like for baseball and softball. Baseball team was at the Andre Dawson Classic over the weekend. Only won one of the 3. The most interesting game was the University of Missouri game on the first night, because that was a game in which we ended up losing 6-5 in the 8th inning. They scored a run in the 8th inning. but that was a winnable game against an SEC opponent. I mean, what that could have done, right? So
yeah, we left on I just in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings alone. I think we left about 7 runners on base. One time the bases was loaded. Another time there was 2 on base. Yeah, we just didn't get those timely hits.
Yeah, yikes. Then on Saturday, well, we already mentioned that game against Southern. We're not going to talk about that anymore. That was just unreal.
Yeah, we just didn't show up. That's the first time this year I can say we just did show up at all.
Yeah, and that was a night game too. That was the last game of the night, and
Yeah.
probably needed to be the first game of the day, just to get out of there. That's what we were going to do. We did turn around on Sunday against Alabama A&M. I don't know what Alabama A&M did over the weekend, but I've seen them. I saw them at the Cactus Jack, a good ball club, I think. But we ended up beating them 13-6. We got hot early and kind of stayed on them, won 13-6. Anybody else look from what you guys saw in the Cactus Jack? Anybody, or not Cactus Jack, but the Andre Dawson Classic? Anybody impress you? Any performances you saw?
The only thing I say, the thing that sticks out with this team, Coach has we've talked about it. Coach has philosophy early, and because we have about 3 or 4 freshmen, not pitchers, that are starting on this team and getting significant minutes. And so offensively, we didn't know what to expect. And I would tell you, having watched Coach shoot teams his entire term since he's been at FAM and being a sports administrator for baseball for 2 of those years, this team is actually farther along than I think he anticipated. And they're solid offensively. The one area I see where they've definitely struggled is with errors. I think they average about 2 or 3 a game now. So that and I think consistency in terms of pitching. You got the number 1 starter who's real consistent. Number 2, hit and miss. StrikeZone is hit and miss. We played Mercer, I think what was yesterday. We put 6 or 7 runs on 6 or 7 runs on them yesterday. So offensively, we're very competitive. We're doing what we need to do. And as I believe firmly in Coach Shoup, and like you said, when we get to SWAC play and tournament time, we'll be where we need to be.
Marcus, you want to add anything in there?
Well, I mean, Coach gave us warning last year. He said, I'm losing a lot of seniors and it's going to be a young team. So we have to give them some grace to work through everything they need to work through in order to gel in time for SWAC play and get ready for, playing some teams that might be bringing back some veterans that might have a little bit more experience, but we definitely have the talent. So we'll have to allow them the grace and not have the same, I don't want to say the same expectations, because you always expect to go to a championship, but we don't have the same returning experience and the same awareness of the team's capabilities as we did the past 2 or 3 years, with seniors coming back or repeat players coming back. A lot of repeat players in key positions.
Mm-hmm. Coming out of the Andre Dawson, we didn't have. I mean, look, there wasn't much of a turnaround time because that series finished on Sunday afternoon. Got a day off. They head back to school campus, and then they were up back in Macon, Georgia, for 2 games yesterday and today against Mercer. Football score broke out. Mercer beat us by a touchdown, 14-7 yesterday. And I was just looking at the Mercer website today. In game 2, we lost 9-2.
Yeah.
Yep. 2 runs on 6 hits, no errors. Mercer scored 9 runs on 8 hits, no errors. Yeah, we dropped to 2-7 now. That was Mercer's 8th consecutive win since they lost their season opener. So Mercer, good ball club. We lost that one. This weekend, we returned to Mercer. Or actually returned to Macon for a doubleheader Saturday. We play High Point Academy at noon in Macon at Mercer's ballpark, and then we play Mercer again at 4 o'clock. So, and then the guys return to Tallahassee for a 2-game stint against Ball State Tuesday and next Wednesday at Moore Kittles Field. So, good opportunities here to win some games. I think we got a 6-game home stretch coming up after we get out of Macon, Georgia. So that's what's up for them. Very quickly over to softball, just kind of quick little glance. Softball, after winning those 3 games in Atlanta, improving to 3-4. We've now lost 5 straight after we lost all 5 games this weekend in the Joanne Graff Classic. Of course, didn't fare well against Florida State or Texas A&M. 11-0, 11-2, 12-1 were the scores. Again, the 3-2 loss on Saturday was a tough one against Southeastern Louisiana. That was probably our best chance to get a win. And then, I don't know what happened, 15-0 on Saturday. That's a tough one. The ladies are in Gainesville this weekend, guys. Taking on, they're in the Florida tournament, taking on Western Michigan Friday afternoon at 12:30. Then on Saturday, they will take on Troy University at 9 a.m. and Samford, S-A-M, Samford at 7 p.m. And then they'll close out with a pair on Sunday against Samford again, and then host Florida, UF at 2. So if you are in Central Florida and want to get up to Florida and go check out softball, do so. I might need to go do that. I'm close enough. I need to go say hey to Coach Bill and go see our softball team this weekend. I don't have to travel and call any games this weekend, so I think I might be able to make it. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? You're on mute.
Marcus said, "Don't get long-winded."
No, I'm not. I was getting close to wrapping it up here. I mean, unless I don't know if there was any other new. We covered a lot today. It was a busy weekend, busy period. Was there anything else that we gotta, that you want to mention? Let's go ahead and do it now. Get it out the way so we can.
Yeah. Quick football tidbits, really quick. Looks like we just offered a JUCO running back out of Harrisburg, PA, out of Bishop McDevitt in Harrisburg. He looks like a little speedster. He's like 5'10", 190. But now he's picking up a lot of steam. I think he got an offer from FSU in the early transfer period. So we'll see what it turns out. I just saw it. I guess it just came to 25th, which was yesterday. So his name is, I don't know how to pronounce it. I was just looking at it. Bowers. And he has a state championship under his belt as a high school. Sincere Bowers. And it's spelled Cyncir. I just retweeted the offer. And, last week, I don't think we mentioned it. We offered a trio. Oh, yes, we did. A trio of folks from Mariana High School. So, and I know Coach is sending out tweets for players of the week in different skill position or position groups.
Yeah. What day does spring football begin? The calendar coach, he already put that out.
March. What was it? March 4th, I think it was.
I think so.
The week before spring break.
All right. Well, maybe we'll talk about, or we'll flash those dates up for a spring practice, which begins next week. Kelvin, do you want to make any comments? Somebody, Mike had sent me the football ticket pricing information. Anything you want to note? And my question always, because I don't do the season ticket thing. Obviously, I do a lot of media stuff. So my first question when I see these new prices for the football season ticket, the basketball season ticket pricing, parking ticket, what is it compared to last year? That's my first question.
I like the a la carte style of it. I think pricing wise, depending what you utilize, it can either be similar, slightly more, or slightly less. It depends. But I like the fact that if you want to do North End Zone, is for the season is a separate price of $1,000, and if you want to park inside of a Bragg, and right now it's only available to those who had passes from last year. But it's just for the season, 5 home games is $500, and then of course the season tickets themselves for reserve is $250. So I'm a a la carte kind of guy. Basketball season prices aren't changing; they are out too. They're the same, 150 and 150. What is it? 250 and 500.
Yeah, for the basketball, it's 150 for the reserve season pass, men and women games. The courtside season pass was $550.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming, and that's per ticket. So
right. So it's coming out early. You can, for those who want to, pay in installments, you can go ahead and get it set up where you can pay in installments and everything. So I like the packages. I mean, works for me.
Okay. There it is. Appreciate you, Gerald. Spring football starts Friday, March 7th. So shout out there. Any updates on the defensive coordinator?
No, I don't have anything.
No, nothing. Okay. I know that's the question I keep getting asked. I guess we'll figure it out. Stay tuned. More to come. All right. Any other news and notes before we pick up and get out of here?
No.
Is that a no? Just
that's
looking
a no.
From side to side. No, just okay.
Oh no.
All right. Well, let's get ready to wrap up the show. Again, say congratulations. Hey, somebody knows.
Yeah, Gerald knows something.
Somebody always knows. But anyway, shout out to the golf program again. Coach Rice, 2025 Arcis HBCU champions. Congrats to the guys on that. Nice job. I believe Coach Rice will be on the show next week, right?
Yep.
All right. So we'll have Coach Rice on the show. We'll also plans to have Kendall Bowler on the show as well next week to get his recap on Hula Bowl, HBCU Legacy Bowl, and then how he's getting ready for the combine or pro day. And also Sterling Young. Shout out to Sterling Young, SWAC basketball men's player of the week. I think the last time he won that award was also against Alabama State and Alabama A&M. So that's he talk about having your best weekend against them. There it is. All right. I want to encourage you guys, make sure you're staying tuned. FAMUathletics.com. Make sure you download the app, the FAMU Athletics app, a great resource to stay up to date with when games are about to tip off, where games you can follow along with stats, things of that nature. It's a great resource to have. Take advantage of it while you have it. Also, make sure you're following the show on all of our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, X, at O&G StrikeZone, YouTube as well, where you can find various clips of the show. with our interviews that we do and our special segments like the football recruit segment, stuff like that. You can always find at O&G StrikeZone on YouTube. And then go download the BCSN Pod Zone. All of the shows that appear on the Black College Sports Network, including ours, is in podcast format. And there you go. Salute to who is the EA referring to there?
A great instructor at FAMU DRS for those of us who went to the high. Also owned the Carpet Center, right across from what now is it was right across from Lawson. That Okaloosa, that street is part of the street has been named after her. So,
Kelvin, can we make something like this happen for Monday for the men's game, or is it we kind of too late to try to do something? Can we do can we get an audio broadcast? You know what?
I'm gonna be at the game. And it's on Rattler Plus.
Okay, we need
hint.
We need an audio broadcast. I need I'm gonna have to call 87. We need to get the audio broadcast available without having it being on pay-per-view. I mean, I get it. We can buy and watch, but we need to be able to. Folks want to sometimes listen to the game. I don't know. Anyway. Pay the debt. EA, exactly. Anyway, y'all in this pay-per-view thing is bothersome to me. I just can't.
The conference has to get a better media package that's consistent. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, we gotta figure out something.
It can't be one school does it this way, another school does it that way. That's not gonna work.
I mean, you can.
Frankly, the quality ain't the same from school to school. So
it's not. I mean, you can pay $4.99 and get ESPN Plus.
Just outsource it to a group and then let them do it.
Well, even that has its challenges, but that's another story. We don't have time for it. All right, so let's get ready to pick up and get out of here. What is it? Oh, we caught up in the chats. Hey, hit the thumbs up and the like button if you would, please. Do us a favor. Share the show. Share the show with your friends and family as best as you can and whenever you can. That's going to do it for tonight's show. Again, thanks to Coach G for coming in and joining us. Nia Blocker, the fastest woman in the SWAC. Kirk Dawkins, the baddest man on the track right now. We thank them for coming on and joining us. And we say salute and fangs up to you all Rattlers for joining us. You guys be well, be safe. And until we see each other again next Wednesday, we're out of here. Peace out, everybody.
Thank you.